Fun thing, take a break. I'm in low before our brain does, your brain does more. Hey, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, my name is Nisi B. Nisi B, baby. Oh my god, baby. I can't hear y'all. So my energy is pretty high. I just came back from the gym, hence the reason why I'm doing this video in a sports bra. If you can't see, I'm short, so let me get on my tippy toes. So today I'm bringing you a story time / review. This is about my experience with a certain travel group, which I'm not gonna name the name, but not to use them because they're absolutely ridiculous, okay? So before I get into that, I just wanna remind you to follow me on my social media to keep up, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So anyways, I'm gonna jump right into the story. Let's not waste any time. If you have watched any of my Trinidad Carnival videos, this is the portion that I keep on leaving out. I think I've mentioned it in like 1 or 2 videos where I'll start to talk about Tobago and I'll be like, nah. That's for a separate video because this is some tea. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna get your teacup, you're gonna get your bottle of water, you're gonna get your wine. Ooh. I went to Trinidad Carnival, okay? And usually a tradition after Trinidad Carnival for a lot of people is going to Tobago just to cool down. There was an event called Candy Coated Wine Down, so that was like the big thing everybody went to Tobago for after Carnival. However, this year the lady had some spiritual growth and she decided to cancel it. So a lot of people ended up canceling their flights to Tobago because flights to Tobago are super cheap. Prior to the canceling of this event, we had decided we're gonna go to Tobago for the experience, right? So I found this lady, we're gonna call her Carol. I found Carol's group, BB, that's what the name of the group is, on Facebook. And Carol had a pretty good deal for Tobago. It was a nice villa, 3 to 4 people per villa, and it was a really good deal. Carol had her deal for 400 USD. So Carol's deal was March 6th to 9th. It included Tobago flight transfers, Candy Coated Wine Down, Pigeon Point Beach, farewell private dinner, photography and videography, transportation to / from all events. Our flight was included in our package, which was $400. But the price isn't the important part here. It's the actions of Carol and her crew that we are addressing. So anyways, you know, I paid my monthly installments on time. Carol seemed reasonable enough. I had added someone after I had registered to our villa and she was perfectly fine with it. And you know, if I had any issues, I could message Carol and Carol would definitely answer my inquiries. If there was any issues like where the system was saying I didn't pay, I could always confirm with Carol. Now, closer to leaving for Trinidad, we had an issue. As clear as Carol had been about everything, Carol was starting to slip. Okay, so for example, we're gonna start from when Candy Coated Wine Down was canceled. And Carol did not update us and say, okay, well, instead of Candy Coated Wine Down, we're gonna be going to these events. Now, I didn't expect Carol to do that as soon because there usually aren't many other events in Tobago other than that event, right? So, you know, I was gonna give Carol some time. Let's say Candy Coated was canceled like December. Let's just say, because I can't remember exactly when they put out the little press release or whatever. So anyways, I didn't hear anything from Carol. So what I ended up doing was, I ended up purchasing a ticket to another event. I think it was Stranded in Tobago. And the ticket maybe cost me like $40, I think. Another friend and I had purchased this ticket, but one of our friends hadn't purchased it because I don't know what she was doing, but she hadn't purchased it yet. And then all of a sudden started freaking out. She's like, it's sold out, it's sold out. The friend somehow ended up going to Carol. Essentially, she messaged Carol trying to say, you know, my friends purchased tickets for this and I can't get a ticket. And then Carol was like, why would you need to get a ticket for this event if it's included in your package? Mind you, we were not sent an email. We weren't even tagged in the Facebook post in the group, like the private group. We weren't tagged in anything letting us know that this event Stranded had been added to our package. She didn't give us anything else to work with. So I didn't think Stranded was there. So I was trying to fill our days with things to do. My issue with Carol was that when we were doing this, like we were doing our little back and forth, she was like, why didn't you guys check the events tab? Now here's my thing. Okay, in Facebook groups, there are tons of tabs. But if I am promoting an event or I am trying to let people know that we're going to an event, I'm going to make a general post in the group and redirect people to the events tab if they have additional questions. She did not do that. She just put it in the events tab and expected us to be like, let me check the events tab today. If we're not being prompted to do that, we're not going to. You know what I mean? And seeing as every other correspondence had been done via tagging in a post in the Facebook group, it didn't make sense that we would even think that we should go to this events tab. When Carol made that comment saying, why would you need that when it's included in the package, I automatically responded and I was like, well, I can't show you guys any of this because Carol blocked us from the group, which you're probably wondering, why would she do that? Well, we're gonna get into it. I can't actually show you guys this correspondence, but essentially Carol agreed to pay us back for our tickets, no problem. Second issue I had with Carol prior to arriving to Trinidad or to Tobago was this. I didn't know what flight I was on. So she had given us 2 flight options. One was in the morning and one was in the afternoon. So we had decided on the morning flight because we thought Candy Coated was happening. However, we were willing to do the afternoon flight. So I messaged her because our concierge company for Trinidad was asking us what time we need to be dropped off to go to Tobago. We couldn't answer them and they were like, it wasn't time sensitive necessarily, like we could definitely do when we got to Trinidad, but I'm just an organized person. I like to know what flight I'm gonna be on. She refused to give this information. Okay, I'll let you know in a week. 2, 3, 4 weeks passed. I still didn't have the information. Carol went on vacation to a whole ass country, which is like Egypt or something. She went somewhere very far right before Trinidad Carnival. I reached out to her business partner, not only to find out my flight, but also to find out if she could just apply the refund she was gonna give me for the ticket to my actual package. And she said, yeah, no problem. We get to Trinidad and we were in a group of people who are going to Trinidad, who are in Trinidad and people who are going to Tobago. She had grouped us all together and we were just seeing the drama unfold. So there was like a situation where like they had just finished playing mass, which is exhausting. And after the road march, they didn't have a driver to take them back. And they were like, oh, please be patient. We're gonna have a driver take you guys back eventually. And these people ended up walking back to their hotel. And apparently the hotel was not closed. So when we saw the drama unfolding, we were like, ooh, this is messy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's time for us to go to Tobago, okay? And we got to the airport early because we were afraid that immigration would be wild, but it wasn't. So we got to the airport early and we hollered at them and we let them know this is where my phone's gonna come out because this is where I need to read you guys exactly what happened. So one of my friends said, hey, we're at the airport. Is someone here? So her business partner, I don't know if the girl's her business partner or what, was like, are you guys at POS? And we said yes. Then she said, gotcha. Then my friend once again said, we are by Caribbean Airlines, where should we go? Because we had gotten like a message saying that we should look out for somebody in the t-shirt. We're like, okay, we're at the airport, but we don't see anybody in a BB t-shirt. So it's called the business partner, Barbara. So Barbara, who's a business partner, says, we're still at the hotel. We haven't gotten there yet. So if you guys can stick together at Caribbean Airlines. And then we were waiting, so we're like, are our names on the ticket? Is it okay to check in? Because we weren't trying to make any moves without them because we didn't want them to feel some type of way about it or, you know, to mess up the little flow of things. And then my friend said the immigration line is going to be crazy. When we arrived, Caribbean Airlines had no line. Now it's getting crowded. And then she said someone will be taking a taxi to the airport, so the 12 p.m. crew don't wait for her. And then Barbara said, you can check in with your confirmation number. It's in your email. I can message them to you as well. Give me a second. And then she said, we are on our way. I'll keep you guys posted. And my friend said, thank you. I printed it. We'll check in now. And she said, great. I'll let you know when we are inside. If you can give me a landmark of where you guys are, that would be great. Just arriving to the airport. Now, mind you, these WhatsApp messages, I don't think I was seeing them because my phone was just acting up. I guess a while later, my friend says we were about to board the 1:35 flight. And then my friend said, no one has found us as yet. We saw no one from BB. Then someone said they mentioned they got on an earlier flight. I definitely jumped in here because I had gotten some service and I said, when? They asked us for a landmark, but at no point did they try to find us or let us know they switched flights. My friend, she's pretty upset too. She's like, we were sitting in the terminal, meaning they walked past us and got on an earlier flight. And I'm like, the lack of communication is very irritating because we had the same opportunity but didn't take it. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, we had the opportunity to be on an earlier flight. We stayed in that airport for maybe 2 hours because we were like, we're not going to go on this early flight. And also because we just didn't know what was happening. You know what I mean? There was no sort of communication there. So that's just to show you guys the lack of communication, even from before when I'm talking about like the ticket situation, that's lack of communication. Here with the airport, there's lack of communication. After she asked for the landmark one time, she didn't ask for it a second time. She didn't say, oh, we don't see you guys in the line, nothing. She just got on a plane and took off. Now we're annoyed because we're like, hey, these people are playing games, but let's go. So we get on our flight. We get to Trinidad, to Tobago. Tobago's like 20 minutes from Trinidad by flying. Let's rewind. When we were at the airport, there was a girl in the airport who had pretty much, they told her flight, she was on the early flight. She got to the airport and they told her that she missed her flight. And apparently there had been something with the airline where they switched the flight around, but they let Barbara and Carol know, but Barbara and Carol did not pass on the information to this girl. So she ended up getting left and pretty much having to be put on a later flight. So once again, lack of communication, right? And we get to Tobago and she's like, yeah, they told me to walk. My girl had luggage. She's like, yeah, they told me the villa is close so I could just walk. But she ended up getting in the taxi with us. She ends up at our villa. Cool. So we go inside, but I was like lagging behind. I think I was having the hardest time with my luggage. So by the time I got inside, we're gonna get my friends' names because it's just very hard, but I'm like, my friend. Bria had chosen the room downstairs by herself and I was with Katie upstairs. So I brought myself upstairs and Carol was up there already talking to Katie, showing her around, showing her how to use things in the villa. And I was like, hello, nice to meet you, whatever, cool, right? Katie brought up the fact that Carol had not reimbursed us for our tickets from Stranded. But I let Katie know that Carol had actually already credited my refund towards the trip. Katie's like, oh, I haven't been reimbursed yet. And Carol's like, yeah, we'll handle that. She's like, oh yeah, you're right, I did credit you already. So Carol was like, okay, then you won't be needing this. And so if you see at the beginning of my Tobago vlog where I'm freaking irritated because I'm like, why did she grab the ticket? I paid for it. Why she snatch up the ticket? Bitch, I paid for it. Oh, you can put it on your phone. That's what that was. She grabbed the ticket and I'm like, oh, but like, why are you taking the ticket? She's like, well, you already have one on, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't print it. Katie had jumped in, which she had been doing quite a bit during the trip. And she had been like, oh, well, you could just show it on your phone, right? And I'm like, no, you and I both know I can't do that because I don't have a SIM card. So now my anger is directed at Katie, who was jumping into a conversation she had no business being in because I just wanted to keep the physical ticket. And then Carol is awkwardly standing there like, ooh. So now I look like a little raging bull cussing Katie out. But I guess Carol felt some type of way about that. She's like, oh, okay, well, don't worry about it. Just ask the driver and he'll be able to get you a SIM card. We go ahead and we get ready for dinner. The driver comes and he picks us up. There are 5 of us in our villa and we had to go to someone else's villa to go and pick them up. And we go to Timbuktu for Gemma's Treehouse restaurant. It was worth the trip. The food was scrumdiddlyumptious. So we get there. It was just really awkward. Honestly, like the vibe was off. Eventually everyone loosens up and we're speaking, right? There was a girl next to me and she was trying to plan like a jungle trekking trip. I guess she had seen like a pamphlet in the driver's car and she called the guy or whatever. And she was like, oh, well, he can take this much people. So if anyone's interested, let me know. And Bria was interested, so her and Bria were kind of planning together as well. But you could tell that the fact that this girl was planning an excursion while she was a part of the BB trip really upset Carol. Like, you could tell she was pressed. So while we're at dinner, Carol, she pretty much was like, oh, hey, we're gonna tip the ladies. Please give them whatever you have. A lot of people didn't have small bills because you didn't let anybody know that we'd be tipping, seeing as she said that this dinner was taken care of. You know what I mean? Like, we thought you were gonna tip them because you said you're taking care of this, right? We end up leaving, we get in the car, we go back to our villa. We were just sitting down there, we were talking, and you know, we were talking about our Trinidad Carnival experiences, and then like we kind of did touch on like what we were seeing in the group while we were in Trinidad, like it looked like tea. So we're just exchanging stories about different things and just relating to each other on different levels and stuff, and just getting to know the other girls in the house. So let's give them names. Let's give them easy names. We're gonna name one Chloe. We're gonna name one Maria. Maria. So Chloe and Maria are dope. We're cool with them. They look like they like to get lit, have a good time, whatever, right? That night, we all agreed that like this whole situation seemed like super disorganized. So Katie messaged the group and she was like, hey, what time is pickup for the breakfast run tomorrow? No one answered her. I needed a SIM card and we needed a couple things from the grocery store. I had organized with the driver to come pick us up at a certain time. Bria was getting picked up at a different time to go on this jungle trek with the other girl, right? We, as in myself, Katie, Chloe, and Maria, were going to go with the driver in the morning. Mind you, the place we went to was up the road. The driver was charging us 40 USD for a 7 to 8 minute drive up the street. Okay, y'all. I'm patiently waiting for the ice cream trucks to come around. So anyways, we get back into the house. We're chilling. Where's my phone? Because this is important. Katie said, where's the breakfast run? And is 10 a.m. when the driver is coming? And no one answered. And then Maria's like, anyone want to answer this? No one answered. After we get back from our excursion to the grocery store, we get a message. Pigeon Point Villa, if you want crab and dumpling, the chef at Sylvia's can accommodate you. Let me know so I can tell her. So we're really confused at this point because we're like, at what point did we tell you that we didn't want crab and dumpling? Like, nobody said that. Maria says, huh? That's the breakfast run, and who is Sylvia? I thought it was a group breakfast thing, as did we. And this is where Carol starts getting real bright. Love, how are you confused, LOL? Do you want crab and dumpling, yes or no? It's a run, meaning run out to grab food before we all go to the beach at 12. Then Maria says, thank you, but this wasn't explained to us at all. And then she's like, if it's in the itinerary, we all want it. Which is correct. I'll put the itinerary up on the screen as well, but if you put something in the itinerary and we assume that we're paying for it, obviously we want to go. We're hungry. We didn't eat because we saw it in the itinerary. So then I get annoyed because I didn't like her attitude. I said, well, she has every reason to be confused. If we didn't express we weren't going, then we're going. And then this is where her beef with us comes in. Y'all went to the grocery store this morning. But what does that have to do with you? And then Katie says, yes, we've been waiting to get picked up since 10 a.m. And then I said to her, we got snacks and alcohol. And Katie says, we were back in the store by 9:30. Then Carol goes, okay, cool, are y'all ready for the beach? But you have not addressed the crab and dumpling situation because we still want to go. Chloe said yes. Katie said yes. Carol said he'll be there in a few minutes. Chloe says, one question, we would like breakfast. So is the driver going to take us to Sylvia's before the beach so that we can eat? And is that included or are we paying him ourselves for that? And then we get this long ass message that says, he's bringing you to Sylvia's for crab and dumplings. I'm providing the transportation because I know the villas don't have any food or a chef. I was accommodating you. So when I was told you went to the grocery store, I assumed that was your breakfast run. Food and beverages you are responsible for from here on. The dinner last night was courtesy of BB. The brunch we have at our villa will be courtesy of BB. Each villa can act and function as a group or separately. And then she tags us and says the driver is there. So that's when her attitude starts to poke its nasty, nasty head. It starts to rear its head. And we start to realize, ooh, okay, she's spicy. Nothing about that made sense to us because if you put breakfast run and you put crab and dumpling beside it and you don't put, or a trip to the grocery store, bro, we're gonna think we're eating breakfast and therefore not buy breakfast food to make for today. So we get to Sylvia's and she's waiting there for us. Carol is waiting. At this point, I'm over Carol. Like, I'm over Carol and all her antics. I'm over Carol's attitude. I'm over the whole nine. I just feel like, why are you so disconnected from us? Why don't we have any sort of correspondence? Why don't you update us on anything? Like, the whole situation is just a mess. You know what I mean? I don't know. Carol just wants to sit down there and be like, okay, what's the issue, ladies? And this, and this. And so we pretty much told her lack of communication. Like, that's the only problem we have here. Like, we don't have a personal issue with you. The fact of the matter is, like, you don't communicate with us and it confuses us. Like, we didn't know this. Mind you, I'm not speaking because I just don't feel like it. And everyone else is just kind of going back and forth with her. And I honestly kind of like just kind of blocked it out. But essentially it was kind of like trying to figure out what's going on and what the problem is and tay. Okay, cool. So remember, the plan was to go to the beach next, right? Wrong answer. So pretty much one of the girls didn't feel well, but she was at the store with Barbara and another girl. Carol hops in the car. Okay, she's speaking to the driver. And she goes, oh, so-and-so is sick. And the driver's like, okay, so I can only fit this many people in the car. My car is pretty much full right now. I can't fit the 3 ladies at the supermarket. She's like, well, she's sick and we're not leaving her, so we have to go get her. Literally her attitude towards the driver. The driver's just stating facts. She's like, you know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's just go. And we're all in the back seat like, the driver does his job, skirt out of there. We get to the supermarket. So her plan was to hop out and then there's 2 girls will be able to come in. So that's what we did. and he's taking us back to their villa. So we're not even going to the beach. Pretty much we get to their villa and we're just waiting. So we have our food luckily, but we're just waiting for Barbara and Carol to arrive. Sitting down there, we're outside, we're eating, we're just chilling, we're looking at their villa like, ooh, this is so nice. And we're just talking amongst ourselves, you know? We're kind of on the hush hush whispering about what happened, but they're not there yet. Barbara and Carol pull up, and Barbara and Carol were inside or whatever, and we're just outside, literally just casual convo. Yes, we were addressing Barbara and Carol prior to their arrival, but at this point, we're no longer talking about them. We're just talking in general. So Barbara sits down beside me and is like, oh, hey, how's it going, guys? And you can tell that Barbara is just messy. Barbara is messy. She's a snitch. So we were saying shit around her because we could tell how this would go. Like, Barbara is clearly only out here to try to get info so she can drag it back to Carol. So we're sitting outside and we're talking. All I said was this, okay? I really hope we get to the beach before Bria comes back, because if we don't, she's gonna be bragging about her trip and we wouldn't have done anything yet. And that's all I said. It was no shade. It was no type of, we better get there before Bria comes back, cause da 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 da. No, it was literally like an innocent, like, oh, I really hope that we go to the beach before she gets back, period. Apparently that was rude. Apparently I shouldn't have said that, because within, I really want to say 10 minutes, the driver was apparently outside and ready to take us to the beach. And I was just like, oh, so what had happened was, prior to us leaving their villa, we had gotten like a message blast that said that like we would have to pay for our entry. We'd have to pay for our entry into Pigeon Point Villa. But I'm going to post it here. According to our itinerary, Pigeon Point Villa was included. So it didn't make sense that we would have to pay for it. However, it was something super cheap, like less than $5. So I wasn't crying about that. I'm like, you know, I had to change, whatever. But Katie was a big person on principle, I guess. And she's like, well, the principle is, they said that it's included in our package. So if it's included in our package, I want them to pay for it. And I'm thinking, this is kind of petty because it's literally like $2, but whatever. So I didn't address it. I didn't care. When she said it was time to go, I was like, okay, cool. So I gathered my things. Everyone got their stuff. And as we're about to leave, Katie is talking to Carol, and then Carol goes, okay. And all of a sudden, Carol's like, does anybody else want $1? Does anybody else want $1? Here you go. Here's $1 for you. Here's $1 for you. Here's $1 for you. And I'm sitting down here taking it back. I'm like, why is she throwing money at us? Like, I was so confused. I'm like, why is this woman throwing money at us? Like, I didn't ask her for anything. And she's just like kind of dashing the money. And she gives, and then she takes back all the money, individual bills. She just hands Katie like a $5 bill, let's say, right? So I'm sitting down here like really shocked because I didn't understand where that outburst came from, but I didn't really care. I was like, okay, fine, whatever, let's go to the beach. So we go to the beach, we're chilling, we're having fun. Mind you, as I told you, it's only the people from our villa that were on the beach at this time. No one else had arrived yet. So as we're sitting on the beach, we get this message from Carol. So Carol pretty much took us out of the big WhatsApp group and put us in a separate WhatsApp group that said Pigeon Villa. So this is what Carol said to us. Okay, I'm gonna put it here as well. Hi ladies, after much consideration based on the interactions I personally witnessed and the feedback I've received from other members of the group from last night and today, I think it's best we part ways. I have my brand to protect as well as the peace of mind of my other travelers who are here to enjoy themselves and have a good time. I've worked diligently to keep this trip for travelers affordable, but what you pay for $375 to $450 a villa, transportation, vet tickets, a private dinner, etc., and what you expect seems to be misaligned. I sincerely apologize if you were under the impression that your trip was all-inclusive. I've quickly made adjustments to make things right by even giving you the $4 entry fee to the beach, but it seems to be no rectifying this. The negative energy and constant complaining has been overwhelming and a damper, and it's just day one. This is the best and only solution for all of us. I will give you each a $40 credit to secure your own transportation from here on. This is effective immediately. If you call for transport, you'll be financially responsible. I wish you all the best of luck and try to enjoy the rest of your trip, ladies. We are in beautiful Tobago. Yo, when we got this message, we were like, what? We were like, what? I was shocked. Like, how dare you try and kick us off the trip? That's not how this works. You are, as you said, a business, right? You are mixing up the emotional aspect of this and the business aspect of this. The bottom line is we paid you money, dollars, and we expect a service. Why are we confused? Because there was no communication. And that's what she fails to understand. She doesn't know how to run a business, and it's so unfortunate because she doesn't like us and doesn't like our attitudes. Like, it's just the fact she didn't like us because we didn't do anything. Like she said, it's day one at dinner. We were very pleasant with everybody. We had a good time. We got back to our villa. People in our villa got along. So it was like, what the is going on here? You know what I mean? We were so confused. Plus, it's unprofessional. You can't kick us off the trip. You cannot kick us off the trip. This doesn't even make sense. So Katie responds and says, ma'am, that's not how this works. I still need my reimbursement for Stranded, and we pay for transportation for the concert tonight, Stranded tomorrow, and the airport transfer, plus our ticket for tomorrow. We don't have the confirmation for our flights back unless we have the same one from the way here. So after that, I said, yeah, that's not how this works. We paid to be on this trip. We were upset because you are unprofessional. We express our discontent and you try to kick us off the trip. You think it's making your brand look bad? Wait until we review you and we reach out to bigger carnival bloggers and vloggers. A simple conversation would have rectified this. However, you attempted to do this. Katie went ahead and she screenshot and showed her that like the beach was included as stated on your Facebook page, so you can't use that as an excuse to accommodate us when we already paid for it. So that was the end of the conversation via WhatsApp. Now shit hit the fan because obviously she had to come to the beach eventually, right? So anyways, we're all sitting down there and she comes to the beach. She sees us sitting there and walks past us like she's never seen us a day in her life. Once again, unprofessional. Walks past us like it was like high school. That's what it felt like. It felt like I was on a trip with like some high school bullies. And then what did I name her? Started with the C. Not Cindy. I can't remember. We're gonna call her Coco. We're gonna rename her Coco. So Coco says she's gonna go up to her and have this conversation with her because the bottom line is you can't leave us stranded on the island. We need transportation. You're saying, oh, we have access to your drivers, but if you're using the driver and we need the driver, then it's gonna be a little difficult. And why are we paying for it out of pocket when we already paid for this in our package? So I'm gonna fast forward through what happened. So essentially we walked up to her and you know, Coco was like, can we talk to you for a minute? And she was like, sure, what's up? And I'm like, don't act like you don't know why we're here. So anyways, Coco goes up to her and she's just pretty much like, we just want to discuss like what's gonna happen with our driver. She wasn't even trying to discuss the whole situation. She was honestly just trying to figure out how we were gonna go about transportation. Carol was like, oh, well, I said I would send you guys $40 transportation. And I'm like, but $40 isn't enough. So I jump in the background. She's like, why? What do you mean? Why isn't it enough? Well, the driver dropped us off at the grocery store this morning for $40. That's not gonna be enough. And plus you can't do this because we paid you. So at this point, Coco's like, trying to be like, yo, chill, because she could tell it's getting heated because she's like, from her stance, I could tell the way it was gonna go. Essentially, she was getting slick in the mouth. She's like, oh, well, that's not my problem kind of thing. And I was like, oh, okay. I took a step back because I know myself. And if you've seen other story times on my channel, you'll know that I oftentimes, I'm ready to throw fisticuffs. I know I'm too grown for that, so I have started making active moves to stop because I'm like, I can't be trying to fight everybody if I get upset. So I took a step back and I said, Katie, please stand in front of me because if you don't, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I was taking the active steps to move back. So Carol caught me saying something to Katie. Would you believe Carol was like, I understand that you don't get to speak for yourself very often, but go ahead, sweetie, speak up. Step past Katie and I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, do you know me? I'm like, I don't speak for myself? I'm like, you don't know me. If I have anything that I need to say to you, I'll say it to you. What I was saying was that Katie needs to stand in front of me because I didn't know what I was gonna do next. She's like, oh, well, we're all adults. We don't need to fight. Precisely. Hence the reason why I stepped behind my friend. But for some reason, you wanna come draw for me. You're not professional, bitch. I couldn't even, whoo, I'm getting heated just thinking about it now. Like, why are you so dumb? You are so dumb. You are really dumb. Like, are you stupid? Move from here. That's when Coco was like, yo, chill. I got this. So fast forward past the next 30 minutes, because this lasted 30 minutes, argument back and forth between her and Coco, because Coco was trying to be reasonable, but she talks a lot. So Coco was trying to reason with her and explain to her why this is a problem, like this is why you can't leave us. You drafted up contracts that say that you're responsible for us. You can't just leave us stranded on this island. You can't leave us without a transportation. You also can't let your feelings get in the way of your business because your business will not thrive that way. This is a summary, okay? We moved from this part of the beach to that part of the beach, and then at a certain point, she was like, okay, fine, whatever. And Coco's like, so does that mean that you are going to be paying for our transportation? She's like, and I'm like, Is she not gonna answer the question? She can get Carol to answer the question. Carol refused to answer. I'm not gonna answer it. I'm not gonna answer it. I already told you guys what it is. Da, da, da. And Coco's like, I wanna hear the words out of your mouth. Tell us that we are good, that you are gonna handle the transportation situation. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Da, da, da. I'm like, we need to know that you are going to make sure that we have transportation. We paid for it. And she's like, okay, fine. I'll handle the transportation. I'll handle the transportation. Okay, cool. Then we're fine. And you know, at the side, Katie and I, after I had calmed down, Katie and I were actually having a conversation with her. She's not a civilized human being, so it really was quite difficult. But we were letting her know, like, these are the things that you need to work on because we didn't have communication for the following. And had we had that communication, we wouldn't be in the problems that we're in right now. And she was like, okay, I understand that, but we didn't think that we needed to do this. But the thing is, people should always, whenever you're handling anything where you're planning for other people, you should always assume that they know nothing. And some people are offended by that when you provide them with too much information. But I would rather put more information out there than less. Because the less information you have out there, the more room for error, the more room for people to be like, oh, well, you didn't tell me this, hence us. She didn't tell us this shit because she didn't think it was necessary, because she understood it. Just because you understand something doesn't mean that everybody else does. And I feel like when you're running a business, that's a mindset you have to have. Treat everyone like they don't know shit. Because that way, there's room for error, but not as much as when you assume that we're all thinking the same way you are. And that's the problem. You need to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. And some people are incapable. So anyways, we get back to the villa, update Bria, and then we get this message, okay? Ladies, I heard your feedback and you have some valid points. I truly wish it hadn't come to this because it has started off rocky. I thought it'd be best to separate the groups. I am not here to leave you stranded with transportation. The solution, we will resume as normal. The driver will pick you up as scheduled on the itinerary. If you want to join us for brunch at the villa, you are more than welcome to. This is a learning lesson when it comes to first timers and what I need to do in order to ensure you know every step of the way that is transpiring. I want to move on from this. We all learn from this, and let tonight and the rest of the trip's days here redeem your trip. Please be ready between 7:30 and 7:45. Are you okay with this? And then Coco said, thank you so much. Yes, we can move on and enjoy and have a great time. I said, thank you for reaching out. Looking forward to tonight. You know, everyone deserves second chances. Please make sure you have your tickets on hand. This is inside, so bring a fan. It could get hot. Pretty much, she apologized, okay? And we thought, okay, well, that's fine. You know, you apologize. Cool. So that night we went to the Calypso Rose show. And for some reason, they couldn't get in. But we could because we had tickets. And so after the Calypso Rose show, we ended up going to this other event that was pretty much free. It was whack AF, okay? And so we're all sitting down there. And remember, on the beach, Carol had emphasized that we thought that this was just a concierge thing. It's a group trip. We're supposed to be doing stuff together and whatnot, right? While we were in the club, Carol and Barbara walked past us and they walked out of the club. Mind you, we are not familiar with Tobago. So, you know, there was two people in our villa. They got tired and our driver apparently was not going to come back at all hours of the night to come pick us up. So we had no choice but to leave with them. There was a guy, and the guy had said, when you guys are leaving, let me know. But the guy was nowhere to be found, and we didn't want to leave him stranded because we were under the impression that Carol and Barbara had gone home. So we're driving along, looking for the guy, and pretty much there was a bar. It was like Monkey Bar or some shit. And everybody, that was the hot spot. But nobody told us that was the hot spot. Driving by to see if we can see the guy. And who do we see? We see Carol and Barbara over there buying food and chilling with everybody else in line with everyone else. Now, for somebody who is claiming that this is supposed to be a group travel, rate, blah, 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 you'd think she would have said, hey guys, we're heading to Monkey Beach or Monkey Lounge. Do you guys want to come with us? She never said that. She just walked past her little stush self, talk about, and appeared at this friggin' place. And so now it's awkward. So now Bria is like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to her about this because I think that's terrible. It's just left us in there. She didn't say shit to us. But yeah, so she went out there. She said whatever she said to her. Something along the lines of, oh, like, we really would have appreciated knowing that you left. We thought you guys had gone home. Ray-tay-tay, blah, blah, blah. The next day was pretty much the Stranded in Tobago party. Let me tell you how much her communication sucked. So pretty much the driver didn't know that one of the girls, Coco in particular, she was not going to Stranded in Tobago. Was not leaving the same day that we were leaving at like 6 o'clock in the morning. She was leaving a separate day. Maria had brought up to him that she, in fact, was not leaving the same time as us. She was leaving later than us. She was leaving at like 2 o'clock as opposed to 6 o'clock in the morning the following day. He was confused and he was clearly frustrated. You could tell the driver was annoyed with Carol. Carol has no behavior. She has no manners. She's cussing out the man. And she's not telling him about the changes to itinerary. Like the fact that there are people leaving at different times. So we go to Stranded. Honestly, nothing really happened in Stranded. It went pretty smoothly. We came back to our villa. We went to sleep. We packed, we went to sleep, woke up. It was time to go. So obviously we left Maria in the villa, right? We get in the car. We go to the airport. We get on the plane. When we got to the airport, we saw everybody on the trip, including Carol and Barbara. And that was that. Essentially, we got a message from Maria, and it was saying that this morning she was woken up by the staff, the cleaning woman for that villa, at 8 o'clock in the morning. Her flight is at 2. And the woman was shocked to see her still sleeping there because she was under the impression that she was going to vacate the villa at the same time as everybody else. She thought this villa would be vacated by the time she reached. It was not, obviously. So very early in the morning, she was woken up. She had to pack her things, and she had no choice but to leave. She couldn't stay there. And she tried to contact Carol and them. I'm not sure what the outcome of that was. I'm not sure if they addressed it. But then she had to call like these people and be like, hey, are you guys around? Like, could you guys pick me up? Because that was her only option. Carol and Barbara had been on our flight. They were in Trinidad, bro. And she was left in Tobago and pretty much stranded had she not met those people the night before. And they were like, yeah, cool. They picked her up and they had her stay at their place and then they dropped her off at the airport before she had to go. But like, what? Isn't that wild? Yo, no communication skills whatsoever. And then she wonders why nobody's gonna want to go on her trip anymore. And like, that's pretty much what happened. But I would never recommend this travel group to anyone. And Trinidad was even worse. Like, if I really wanted to get into it, I would go into my email and I'd open up the email from this lady. She was talking about her experience with her. And like, I'm not gonna get into that because that's personally not my business. But just know that the trip to Trinidad wasn't any smoother than Tobago. Apparently, she had taken events off of their itinerary. They hadn't gone to all the events that they were promised in their package. Like, it was a friggin' mess. Definitely go ahead in the comment section down below and let me know what you think of this situation. Would you go on a trip with this group again? Like, how do you feel about the situation? Because I'd love to see your feedback and all that stuff. And if you want to know what group this is, you can probably look through my other videos and find it, as in the other Trinidad related videos, and find it. So anyways, I hope that this was a helpful video. If you already planned for Trinidad, you've already booked with them, I apologize, wish I could have gotten this out earlier, but yeah. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos. You follow me on social media, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. As always, it's a peace, it's a love, and it's a annyeong.
I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She want a bad man to come and video this. I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She want a bad man to come and video this. You want murder me, eh, 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 eh.